There are moments in time that slip by with little fanfare, moments that seem small, almost invisible, until history circles back and reveals their magnitude. One such moment came more than 2 decades ago, when the biggest name in professional wrestling quietly, but permanently, changed its name. What once stood as the World Wrestling Federation, the mighty WWF, the juggernaut of wrestling culture, suddenly became something else. Something new, something subtle, something seismic. WWE. 3 letters, one tiny shift, and yet, the aftershocks still echo today. To the children of that era, it was just a curiosity. A new logo, a slightly different chant from the crowd, a merchandise shift that made the old shirts vintage overnight. But to those behind the curtain, it was a reckoning. It was the moment Vince McMahon, titan of the squared circle, emperor of the Attitude Era, the man who turned wrestling into a global media empire, was forced to yield. Not to a rival wrestler. Not to ratings. Not to public outcry. But to a legal battle. The kind of fight that doesn't happen under bright lights or between steel ropes. The kind of fight that takes place in courtrooms. In suits and ties. In silence. The enemy. Not WCW. Not ECW. Not any faction, alliance, or rebellion. But pandas. Yes, pandas. The World Wildlife Fund, also known as WWF, had held the initials long before wrestling became a Monday night religion. And after years of back and forth, the World Wildlife Fund won. The gavel fell. The verdict was final. And Vince McMahon, the kingpin of chaos, had no more cards to play. So he did what all great performers do. He adapted. He evolved. He rebranded. The WWF became WWE. From federation to entertainment. A move that some fans took as symbolic. A line drawn in the mat between old school and new age. Between grit and glitz. Some believed it was a sign that wrestling, once raw and visceral, was being repackaged as scripted spectacle. But here's the truth. It was always entertainment. Always. From the moment Hulk Hogan tore his shirt. From the moment The Undertaker rose from the grave. From the moment Stone Cold Steve Austin cracked open that first beer and flipped the bird on live TV. This was never just sport. It was storytelling. It was theater. It was adrenaline laced with fantasy. Vince McMahon didn't change wrestling. He simply gave it its proper title. And in that moment, WWE was born. A new era. A new brand. The same chaos. The fans kept watching. The lights kept shining. The belts kept gleaming. Because the name may have changed, but the heart of it never did. It was still about the pop of the crowd. The echo of boots on the canvas. The clash of personalities and egos and legacies. WWE became a global powerhouse. It reached further, spoke louder, sold more. It didn't lose its roots, it used them as a springboard. Legends were made under the WWE banner. John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Roman Reigns. They carried the torch lit by Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, and The Undertaker. The name didn't define the magic. The magic defined the name. WWE wasn't a retreat, it was a rebranding with teeth. It embraced the future without abandoning the past. And Vince, he smiled. He sold it. He turned a courtroom defeat into a marketing masterstroke. Get the F out, the ads said. It was bold. It was cheeky. It was classic McMahon. And it worked. The brand exploded. The fanbase grew. Pay-per-views went global. Merchandise soared. The WrestleMania stage got bigger, brighter, grander. And through it all, WWE became the name in sports entertainment. The name is now legendary. Kids born after the name change don't even remember the old initials. To them, it was always WWE. It's stitched into their backpacks, printed on their lunchboxes, etched into their memories. And yet, for those who remember the switch, there's a strange pride in watching it unfold. Because we saw the pivot. We saw the resistance. We saw the resilience. And now we see the legacy. It was never about just letters. It was about what those letters stood for. And today, WWE stands as a symbol of survival. Of reinvention. Of dominance. A company that was forced to bow in court, but rose even higher in culture. This was more than branding.